All right, then. So on Maritime today, we are assessing Nigeria's economic development in a shifting global trade landscape. There's a whole lot of things happening in the trading world, and we just need to touch base on that within the short period that we have on the program. Dr. Muda Yusuf is an economist of repute, former Director General, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industries, and currently he's the CEO Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise, CPPE. Dr. Yusuf, nice to have you on the phone. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
All right. Perhaps the most convenient reference point to begin this conversation this morning is Wednesday's Liberation Day announcement by President Trump imposing reciprocal tariffs on nations with unfair trading practices to America, he says. So, were you surprised at the announcement on Wednesday?
I wasn't surprised at the announcement, but I was surprised at the rate and the kind of unusual computation of tariff that President Trump came up with. Those rates were outrageous. They were really very, very outrageous. And there are no basis for that kind of tariff imposition.
Right.
And what the President Trump was saying, existing tariffs, those things were not correct. It was a very, very unusual kind of computation of tariffs.
All right. Now, he mentioned a lot of countries on that day, and he said most of them were ripping off American businesses. And in imposing these tariffs, he has said, well, those that are ready to bring their things to America to manufacture, they might be exempted and all of that. Like you said, does that mean the president was ill-advised?
The president is not seeking advice from anybody. He's not talking to economics. He doesn't believe in economic advice. He just believes in his own understanding of economics, which is completely upside down. That is it. What he wants to do is to bring manufacturing back to America, but this is going to worsen the condition of Americans. Look at what has happened to stock markets in America.
Right.
They lost $6 trillion
within the past 24
days.
hours. Right. That's very correct.
Yes. 6 trillion. It's just the beginning of a crisis, both for America and for the world.
Right.
But America will suffer more in this.
Okay. So the secretary yesterday was talking about the fact that this is just the beginning, that things will adjust. Americans shouldn't be threatened by this and all of that. But from your own perspective, Dr. Yusuf, what impact would it have on global trade?
No, it is going to disrupt global trade. It's going to increase, generally, even on global economy. We're likely to see a slowdown in global economy. It's going to disrupt supply chains all over the world. And it's going to slow down the global economy. So we are likely to see almost a global recession the way things are going. Because it's a major disruption across the whole world.
Right.
A major disruption.
And some countries are already taking retaliatory steps on this announcement. China yesterday equally imposed a 37% tariffs on American imports. Some other countries watching on the sideline, Australia and others. So will this not lead to a global trade war?
No, it has already started. What we are seeing already is global trade war. Because if major economies are engaged in this kind of tariff war, it's as good as a global trade war. I'm only hoping that the U.S. Congress will put partisanship aside and rein in on this situation before it gets worse than what it is. Because that is the only saving grace now.
Right.
They cannot afford to leave President Trump to be going this way. Otherwise, it will scatter everything.
And in matters of this nature, Dr. Muda Yusuf, what roles do you think bodies like the World Trade Organization, the World Bank, and even IMF, what roles can they play?
The current president of here doesn't respect any global institution. He doesn't listen to anybody. He doesn't respect them. He has even stopped funding country subscription to WTO. So he doesn't even believe in WTO. The only body that can rein in on this is the U.S. Congress. if the Republicans will agree that they are on a wrong course, they work with the Democrats, they can prevail on him to review all this situation. That is the only way out. All this IMF, World Bank, WTO, the UN, Trump doesn't respect any of them. So he won't listen to them.
All right. Let's talk about Nigeria now, Dr. Muda Yusuf. Let's bring it home. What would be the impact of this? Because I hear 10% is the tariffs that have been imposed on other nations, which includes Nigeria. How would that affect us?
Well, directly, the impact on us may not be very significant. He imposed 14% on Nigeria.
Okay.
And if you look at our trade data, most of our export, 90% of our export is oil and gas, fertilizer and oil and gas, crude oil and natural gas. And from what I have read, because of the impact of energy costs on the U.S. economy, it has exempted energy products. And our own export is largely energy products. So the impact on us may not be directly significant. And again, if you look at our total trade in terms of exports, only about 10 or 8% of our export is directly to the U.S. And most of it is energy.
Right.
So the direct impact may not be too much. The only way it will affect us is, first, all the investors who are importing from U.S., the cost of their import will go up. So they have to look for other areas where they can be importing from.
Right.
Secondly, if it disrupts the global economy, if there's a recession in the global economy, that will also affect us. Okay. Because oil price is already crashing as a result of this. That means that our foreign exchange will go down. That means our foreign reserves will be affected. So those are the ways it can affect us.
All right. Okay, then. So in all of this, when there is an adversity, there's always room for some kind of opportunities for one to look inward. So what opportunities does this prevail, or what does it portend for the Nigerian economy?
The opportunities is that with the way the U.S. is waging war against all the major partners, all these other countries will be looking for new partners for trade, so we can take advantage of it. Because if they are having issues with the U.S., then they may be looking for new partners. So Nigeria can position itself, or investor can take advantage of it. Things are getting more expensive in the U.S. and all of that. So we can take advantage of it.
Right.
To develop new partnerships with Europe, with Asia, and the rest of them.
And I'm just thinking, I mean, America is our biggest trade partner. When you talk about this energy, the oil and gas, which you mentioned, which other countries might likely need our oil and gas? I mean, Russia has its own oil and gas they export. Which other countries can we look up to?
No, we export. In fact, Europe is our biggest trading partner. Europe.
Okay.
So you have Netherlands, you have France, you have Spain, you have India, and the rest of them. So in Asia and Europe, and even in Africa, we are talking about African Continental Free Trade Area. We can also look within our continent.
Right.
So there are enough trading blocks to relate with outside of the United States.
Okay, then. I'm just going to hold you on a bit. Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. This morning on the program, we are assessing Nigeria's economic development in a shifting global trade landscape. We're going to take a short break. Do not forget, we have a crash on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Some of you are stuck in the gridlock on that particular expressway. But I understand Trace, FRSC, the fire service, they are doing all that they can to also help out. And those coming into Lagos are having it slow right now as a result of counterflow, which is on there within that particular line. The accident happened at MFM, just opposite Nipco Gas, involving 2 articulated vehicles and a commercial bus. All right. The fatalities have been taken to the morgue, and I understand those that are injured have also been rushed to the hospital. A brief break. When we return, Dr. Muda Yusuf talked about AFTA, that's the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. Well, that is also an aspect that Nigeria can take advantage of. But with ECOWAS and the challenges that they have, what are the challenges, or perhaps what are the opportunities and prospects of Nigeria really building up its economy through AFTA participation? We'll be back after this break.
Nigerian Shippers Council Day to serve you well. No matter the problem, we go solve them for you.
Yes, so the Nigerian Shippers Council they feel in a parole now for every level, and as soon as goods they move from port A go enter port B with a measure within on a need. For the Nigerian Shippers Council, we don't sharp proper to fit hear you wella, work with you wella, and help you fit serve your customers them better, no matter where them day. As we country port economic regulator, the Nigerian Shippers Council get every now to fit make government consider the problem when shippers them they face. Visit we office for number 4 or to buy your daily show your daily. Papa email us for nsc@shipperscouncil.gov.ng. We website now www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng. Allow us on top 0818-888-8895 or 0703-584-6468.
For you, we dey gidigba,
Nigerian Shippers Council with the meeting now for the port of Nanir.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Maritime today is the program, and I still have with me Dr. Muda Yusuf, an economist of Repute and the CEO of the Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise. I have a caller on the line who wants to join the conversation. Hello there, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
All right, what's your name?
My name is Chris from Agege.
Chris, how are you doing?
I'm very good.
Talk to me.
From Agege.
Yeah, from Agege. Go ahead.
I want to ask Dr. Yusuf, what policies would you suggest that will improve Nigeria's ease of doing business?
What policies
Will you suggest that the government takes that will increase the ease of doing business in Nigeria?
Okay, all right. Very big question. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Dr. Yusuf.
Yeah, I didn't hear the question well.
Okay, so he's saying, what policies would you suggest that the government can introduce to to improve the ease of doing business in Nigeria?
There are so many things. So first is our infrastructure. The cost of infrastructure is very high. Power, road, our ports, and so on. The infrastructure environment is very critical to make it easier for people to do business. The second is financing. The cost of financing is too high for businesses. 30% and above is too high. So that's also a major issue. Then there's also the regulatory environment. Some of our regulatory institutions put undue pressure on our businesses. They harass them for levies, for taxes, and all of that. Then problem at our ports. Moving goods in and out of the ports can also be a nightmare sometimes.
Right.
So those are some of the things I think the government
can work on. All right. So before we went on that break, you were talking about AFTA, and Nigeria has not really benefited much from participating in AFTA. I mean, we came in so late. So what opportunities do we still have, considering the fact that countries like Mali, like Niger, and Burkina Faso has just, withdrawn from ECOWAS?
Well, opportunities are there, although the AFTA is not gaining momentum as fast as it should because of all sorts of barriers, especially non-tariff barriers, bureaucracy, and political will. But I think we are making progress slowly. There's what we call guided trade initiative. Some trading has already taken place, like pilot programs between Nigeria and some African countries. The Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso that are exiting ECOWAS, well, that is unfortunate, but if you put their economies together, they are not so big in terms of size when you look at the size of their GDP. So their living is not going to have any serious material impact, given the size of their economies.
Right. So we should not fret. We should not fret over their living.
No. They are not that significant in terms of their size. Right. They are important in terms of security. I must admit that. But in terms of size of the economy, they are not so significant.
Okay, so I do not know. Over the week, earlier in the week, we heard that those three countries were trying to impose 0.5% tariffs on imports from Nigeria and other West African countries. That would be significant in terms of affecting trade?
No, not at all. What they are doing, currently, any imports coming from outside ECOWAS, we charge 0.5%. all ECOWAS countries, we charge 0.5%.
Okay.
It's ECOWAS levy. Now that they have left, they also want to continue to benefit from that 0.5%. So that is why they have also carved out their own sub-region or trading bloc.
Right.
And now said that anything that is also coming to their country must attract 0.5%.
All right. Let's take some
So
calls.
that is what they have done.
And reactions as well. 09153-877127. How should Nigeria handle this global shift in trading landscape? That's what we're focusing on. This one here says, good morning, Traffic Radio. And Dr. Yusuf, how can Nigeria attract more foreign direct investment, FDI, in a shifting global economy? Ifeanyi is sending this one in from Ojodu.
Well, it's to create the right environment. Now that Trump has imposed heavy tariffs on EU, on Asia, on China, it is easier now to export from Nigeria to US than to export from China or from EU. The tariff he has given us is just 14%. The tariff on China, on EU is over 20%. Some
Right.
of them to 30-something percent.
China is 37.
So, yeah, so it's an opportunity for us to take advantage of that gap and export from here to the United States.
Oh.
Other investors can also come in here, set up, and also export from here.
All right. So we can benefit from all of this. Is that what it means?
Of course, we can
All right.
benefit from it.
This one says, happy weekend. In terms of global trade, which sectors of Nigeria's economy have the most potential for growth? You didn't put your name. Thank you so much for that question. So, in terms of that, Dr. Yusuf, which sector?
The sector that we have great advantage in now is still oil and gas. That's refined petroleum products, gas, and fertilizer. Those are the things that we have very good advantage of right now. And you can see that even Dangote has been exporting jet fuel to US, to Saudi Arabia, and all of that. He has been exporting diesel. He has been exporting even PMS to some part of Africa. So our strength is actually, for now, is actually in oil and gas and related products like fertilizer and petrochemical products.
Okay.
That is where our strength is for now.
All right. This one says, this is an interesting topic. Doctor, how do you think Nigeria should adapt to the rise of digital trade and e-commerce globally? Frank is sending that one in. Frank, thank you so much.
No, we are doing well in terms of digital economy. Our young people are doing a lot, and the government is also prioritizing the development of skills, digital skills. Quite a number of our young people that are abroad are in the ICT space. Many of them are also working from Nigeria and working for countries outside the country.
Right.
So it's a developing area, and a lot of progress is being made.
All right, this one says, good morning, Victor. What are the major structural reforms needed to accelerate Nigeria's economic development? Sheyi Ojo is sending that one. Sheyi, thank you so much.
No, we need to reform our energy sector. We need to ensure that we have proper electricity. We need to ensure that we improve on our connectivity within the country. And that's of rail development, road sector development. We need to improve our ports and the processes in the ports. We need to also ensure that our regulatory agencies are more investment friendly. We need to create the right kind of financial infrastructure to make sure that we have financing costs that is more investment friendly. Those are some of the things that we need to do.
All right. So in terms of regional integration, what do you think Nigeria should do?
Well, Nigeria should engage with other countries within the region to ensure that we remove non-tariff barriers, because there are too many violations of ECOWAS protocols, too many violations, both by Nigeria, by Benin, by Togo, by all of them, a lot of violations. So we need to get all the countries in the sub-region to commit more to the implementation of the ECOWAS protocol.
All right. And as we round up the program this morning, this is April, Dr. Muda Yusuf. This global wind of tariffs that has been imposed on different countries across the world, how soon do you think this will end? And what kind of resolutions do you think should come to play?
Well, the only resolution is if you can get Trump to reverse this position. If he doesn't reverse it, then, I mean, for the rest of the year, I don't think we can have a stable global economy. We're likely to see a major contraction, and this will affect practically all countries of the world.
Right. Anyway, we'll be watching and be on the sidelines too. So let me say a very big thank you to you for connecting with us this morning, Dr. Muda Yusuf.
Thank you.
Okay, then. So we've been assessing Nigeria's economic development in a shifting global trade landscape. And Dr. Muda Yusuf, an economist of repute, former DG, Director General, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industries, and the CEO Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise, has been taking us to the classroom this morning. We have to go. Mike James has produced the program. Maximum shout out going out to Dayo Anthony. In the studio this morning, Favor Dumebi and Olorun Toba Temitokwe. I say a big thank you to our social media team, Okpa Emushedunke and Remy Aluko. All right, our executive producer is Tayo Akonle. Let me appreciate Rebecca Adamu, who's Assistant Director of Public Relations for the Nigerian Shippers Council. You can connect with them on all their platforms at NG Shippers. Well, I just want to say, have a splendid weekend. My name is Victor Oteri. I'm out, still very much within. Bye.
Nigerian Shippers Council, they to serve you well. No matter the problem, we go solve them for you.
Yes, so the Nigerian Shippers Council, they feel in a parole now for every level. And as soon as goods, they move from port A, go enter port B, with a measure within on a need. For the Nigerian Shippers Council, we don't sharp proper to fit hear you wella, work with you well.